All right, yo, cheers. Episode 39. Let's fucking continued health. Happy birthday,
Salud.
grandson.
Angelo.
Angelo.
Happy birthday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Woo!
F.
Wait a minute. Is that the
Gabe.
grandson that said "fuck Gabe"?
Yep.
No,
No.
I take that back.
his little brother.
This is the Beers and BS podcast, sponsored by one of the locals, Under the Sun Inserts, Brewport Coffee House, and Brewport Cafe. And now here's your hosts, Adrian, Joe, and Mike.
Like a ghost into a fog where no one notices the contrast of
White on white.
You just felt it, or is there a reason for this?
Nah, I don't know. I got a glimpse of this song earlier today, and here it is.
Round here.
Whoa.
It's like a cat died, right?
Yeah.
You ever see these guys in concert?
I have.
I have too.
Really?
I thought they were good.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Beers and BS, the podcast. We are your hosts. To my right, I got Joey.
Yo.
Yo,
To his
Joe.
right, we got Mike D. I'm Adrian. Holding it down for us in Tennessee is our producer, Gabe.
Gabe.
Yo.
As always, before we talk about what we're drinking, big shout out to Mike's grandson. It's his birthday today. His first birthday today.
Angelo.
So we want to say happy birthday to him and
Do you call him Ange?
the family.
Nah, I call him Angelo.
Angelo.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Angelo.
Big birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
birthday. Is he walking?
Salud.
Another
Uh,
one. He's standing. He's not walking. He hasn't taken that step yet. But he'll stand there and not realize that he's standing by himself. But
Is he doing the couch crawl? The couch
yeah.
crawl?
Oh, couch, table, whatever. The kid is like a literally a rugrat. You know what I mean? All over the place.
I can't believe it's here.
God bless him.
You know? Can't
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
it's here.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Angelo.
Happy birthday.
Woo.
Anyway, all right. So as always, we start the show. We tell the audience and talk about what we're drinking. Mike, you want to kick that off?
Well, I got lazy today, I went to the fridge and I grabbed a couple of Stellas. It's like an old girlfriend. You always go back to it.
No, I can't go wrong with a Stella.
Yeah.
Joey, what do you got?
I got Founders All Day IPA. I've had this before. It was honestly same thing, bro. It was in my fridge. I keep these in the house. They're nice. Two of these, you got a little buzz.
That's the one with the Jeep on it.
This is the one with the Jeep on it. I love that Jeep. And that's it.
Nice. I had this one last week, the Boatswain. I don't know how you say it. Boatswain. But it's from Trader Joe's. You can only get it at Trader Joe's. That's probably my favorite food store.
Really?
But this is the double IPA. Last week I just had a regular IPA and it was
Ooh.
okay. This is a double IPA and I do like this. And it is,
You like the flavor?
I do. And it's 8.4% alcohol.
Stepped it up.
But, dude, it's like $6 a six pack.
Wow.
Ooh, cheap as fuck.
That's cheap.
Yeah, Trader Joe's. Great. That's me. Gabe, what do you got, buddy?
Well, I couldn't decide if I wanted bourbon or beer. So I went with Kentucky Bourbon Barrel.
Nice.
There
This
you
is
go.
also an
I can't-
8.2%.
Try getting in the camera, Gabe. I can't see it. There you go. All right, so that's a beer?
Yeah. It's a ale.
Nice. Good.
So it's a little caramelly, if you want to say.
All
A
right.
little hints of oat, if you want to say.
How many of those
Yeah,
did
it's
you
pretty
have?
good. I just cracked this one open. So these were expensive. These are 4 and they cost $11 each. $11 a 4-pack.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got a
Anything
pretty good
comes in
deal
a
right there.
4-pack, you're getting screwed, right?
Yeah, but usually that is
Yeah.
pretty strong though.
Yeah.
I tried while I was at Trader Joe's. They had you could buy beers like just single beers, if you just want to try them. And they had a pumpkin. I forgot who it's from though, but they had a pumpkin ale, but it was a pumpkin ale with caramel.
Woo.
It wasn't good.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah,
No.
Really?
it wasn't good.
You maybe need the sugar and cinnamon on the glass.
Yeah, I mean, I was drinking,
Out of the bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
I can't get down with pumpkin drinks, man. Even though in here we sell a lot of them.
I like the pumpkin beer, man. I swear to God.
You like pumpkin coffees and all that shit or no?
No. But the pumpkin beer with the sugar on the thing, to me, it's like a
No.
treat. It's like candy.
Dude, I love pumpkin donuts.
Really?
Oh, so
I've never
good.
had one.
Me
Pumpkin
either.
donut.
I like an apple cider
Go
donut.
to Dunkin' Donuts, right? Probably another week or so will be there.
Yeah.
Pumpkin donut.
Or maybe at Brewport. Right?
I'm going to text somebody right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what we're drinking. All right, guys, NFL's back.
Woo.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
We waited, well,
Oh man,
us Giants fans.
that is great music, right?
It is great. You know, it feels good, pumps you up unless you're a Giant fan, because we waited 8 long fucking months, okay, for this dog shit that we saw on Sunday.
You have to have optimism as a fan. As bad as that game was, and as bad as Daniel Jones was, you have to have optimism. It's the beginning of the season.
My
Okay.
God.
You know,
but where's the optimism? Tell me, what's the bright side? Like, what did you see that you're like, you know what? We're going to be all right.
no,
What did you say?
I didn't see. I didn't see anything that says we're going to be all right. But I think I think you know, nowadays these guys do not play together in the preseason, and let's face it, he's gun shy, he's broken, whatever term you want to use to describe Daniel Jones's actions, not staying in the pocket, being jumpy, fucking running into defenders, you name it, 1,000 ways. He didn't perform well.
No, that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I think with time and cohesion, it has to get better. That's all I'm saying.
I hope you're right, but that looked like that's what you get from not taking any preseason snaps, right?
That's what I'm saying.
That was
For who? Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
He played.
10 snaps, I think.
Yeah, man. All right, go on.
Against a B defense, you know, I don't know. You got to be out there. You got to feel the grind.
So, all right.
You used the word gun shy, and I think you nailed it. He looked on every snap like he did not want to get hit.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. I hear what you're saying. 10 snaps. You're not going up against, NFL players. But, dude, you're a $40 million a year quarterback.
That's on the cheap now.
You know
Come
what I
on.
mean?
That's on the cheap. Everybody keeps saying 40
That's
million,
still
40 million.
expensive.
Yeah, but it really, if you look at what these guys are getting paid, he's in the middle of the pack.
No, listen, dude. I'm talking about $40 million for his production. You're going to say that's on the cheap?
You got Deshaun Watson, fucking $230 million guaranteed. You have Russell Wilson, didn't even fucking put his cleats on, bro. You know what I mean?
He's not worth $4 million right now.
Which one, Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, you're not getting together with guys. You're not throwing the ball. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, they show video all the time on Instagram and stuff. You see the guy fucking throwing the ball and stuff, but this is real. You know, now paychecks are on the line. And
Did you see that walk of shame he had to do after?
Oh man, it was horrible.
Guys, like, I need $1 million. They were booing him and stuff.
Horrible.
I'm not gonna say I've been an apologist for him, but I've kind of been behind him. You know what I mean? Last year he got hurt. Okay, whatever you're gonna do. 22 was a great year. You know what I mean? This is year 6.
I know.
This is year 6, dude. I'm done.
I mean, I love the guy. I had someone buy me a jersey of him for me. I mean,
Yeah,
I hate to
really-
say I told you so.
yeah, Gabe, you did say, but you know what, dude? You like, just to stomp on shit we like.
How's your fucking quarterback?
Oh, I never said the Raiders were going to even touch 500 this year.
Minshew?
So.
How did Minshew do?
I'll take
Seriously.
Minshew over fucking Daniel.
I think he
Jones.
did better
I
than
would take
Daniel
Minshew over
Jones.
Daniel
No, but how did he
Jones,
do?
He did better than Daniel Jones.
Did you guys win?
No.
Oh, and that's
But
what
I
I was
didn't-
telling
I
you.
didn't think we were going to
Jets
either.
guys. You didn't win either. We're in the same fucking predicament as you, and you had fucking the Messiah, Aaron Jones.
They're in
Aaron
a much
Rodgers.
better predicament
Dude,
than us.
But they first off, they went to San Francisco and they played the team that just represented the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Okay,
Are you
haven't
building
seen the Super
excuses
Bowl.
for them?
No, I'm not
No.
making excuses, but is San Francisco way better than Minnesota?
Yeah,
Bro, Sam Darnold looked like a fucking Pro Bowler.
He did.
Sam Darnold came
No.
to MetLife Stadium and kicked the shit
Sam
out of the
Darnold
Giants.
is a starting quarterback in the NFL, bro.
I think the
No,
Jets.
he's only starting quarterback in the NFL because this guy got hurt.
Yep.
That's the only reason why he's starting
He's
quarterback.
there. He
And so is
started,
Daniel Jones.
He started and he won.
So is
you know?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Well,
Daniel Jones didn't look like an NFL starter.
Yeah.
no.
He
No.
did not.
No.
He looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Well,
And
what are we gonna do about it?
What were we hanging our hat on? All right, so
fucking Dak got paid and went off. He had a
Oh.
great game.
one fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
Good
But-
for him. He does that every fucking regular season.
That's true.
But when it comes to the playoffs, he fucking chokes.
That is true, my
But-
friend.
you know?
So Mike and I, we went to the New York Giants Fan Fest, right? 100-year anniversary of the team, right? Since 1925. Mike and I brought my son. Mike brought his son-in-law. We went to the Fan Fest, right? We saw a bunch of. I mean, it was pretty cool to be.
This
in
is the
building.
Friday before the Sunday.
Yeah, Friday before the Sunday. We went to MetLife. It took me 3 hours to fucking get there.
Why?
Because traffic. Thing started at 5:00. I had to wait for my son to get out of school
Oh.
to go.
He used your GPS that day.
Here's a picture of Mike and I there. Representing all the people. It was cool, a little unorganized. You know what I mean? I'm glad the tickets were free. That's
It was
me and
unorganized?
me and my son. I feel it was a little unorganized, but
Really?
as far as like getting autographs, like there was the lines were crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
crazy
Everything.
long. Yeah.
There goes all the uniforms. Joey's favorite uniform is the first one to the left.
If you wanted to participate in anything, the lines were extremely long.
JPP, Mike getting his autograph.
That's pretty dope right there.
I got the head on now.
Yeah. I mean, so pumped, so excited. It was so cool. LT was in the building, Eli Manning, Phil Simms. For a Giant fan, it was really cool.
Strahan?
Strahan wasn't there. I guess he had to go to LA for Fox. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No Odell.
So, me and you texted afterwards, and, I was like, Strahan and Tuck. And then someone told me that Tuck is like an ambassador for the NFL in Africa. Did you hear anything about
No.
this?
No.
Yeah, like he's, picking up, talented players. And
What did you think of the NFL game in Brazil?
I didn't get to see it.
I didn't get to see it because we were at the Fan Fest.
No, all right.
And Philly wound up winning. So,
Yeah.
To me, it had to be a garbage game. Fuck the Eagles.
Fuck you.
I mean, why?
Another I told you so about Saquon.
Oh, boy.
Why put those guys in this predicament though? These guys go down there. I understand you're trying to spread the league, the word of the NFL and stuff to all these different countries and stuff. But they were in a situation where they were allowed to leave the hotel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They couldn't wear a certain color.
Yep.
No cell phones,
Yeah.
no jewelry.
It's like, why put these guys in that situation?
A few
just
players
straight
had their
up
own
greedy.
bodyguards too.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's just straight up greed. Whatever. Anyway, I mean, look, am I psyched? Am I excited? NFL's back. So excited. But it was just such a major letdown, man. Such a major letdown. Week 1, we wait 8 months, and this is what we have. And what I was going to say, Mike, we're hanging our hat on the defense, right? And
Sexy Dexy started the game off. You're like, yeah. And all of a sudden,
Where'd he go? He disappeared for a little while. Was he hurt? He missed a bunch of
they said he was getting oxygen.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah.
no, it didn't seem like they did.
Exactly. I mean, that performance.
Wow.
Think about this for a second. On a beautiful. How about Mr. Mara? There you go.
Oh.
How about John Mara with his cornflakes waking up there in Westchester and getting little slippers on, and he runs down to the Meadowlands to watch that game. He's already in a bad mood because he's got 3 touchdowns against the Eagles, and we already learned that he was annoyed because he wanted to keep. We saw that on Hard Knocks. And then John's sitting there with his hot dog at halftime, and the Vikings are up 21-3. And
Hey, do you have the cut with Carl Banks? Did you see that?
I did when he said LT. What LT said?
Yeah, LT was like, they were standing with a bunch of like retired players and stuff. LT looked around, and he says LT doesn't watch games on a regular basis. He doesn't watch football. But at halftime, he looked at Carl Banks. He's like, bro, I grabbed 22 of these guys right here, and everybody was like over 50. He goes, we'll go out there and kick their ass. I don't understand.
It's sad. We are the laughing stock of the league right now. We got a division game, I think, this week.
Washington.
Yeah. I mean, they got to get a dub. They got to figure this shit out quick. And I think, and I'm never for knee-jerk reactions, especially in the NFL. But if fucking he performs the same way, they got to make a move.
I agree. Dude, the money's gone.
Or they're just throwing the season down the drain.
I'm saying, but you lost the money already. Like it's gone. He's not going to, you know what I'm saying? He's not coming back next year. It's done.
Done.
Take the loss. And I say start Tommy DeVito. I know he's the 3rd string quarterback. Drew Lock's 2nd string.
Yeah.
I would say start Tommy DeVito until, see
And ride the wave.
Yeah.
I think either one of those guys will do better than what is 18.4% quarterback rating.
No, the worst that was out there, Scotty, told us.
Oh,
That since he signed his $40 million a year contract, Daniel Jones has thrown more touchdown passes to the opponent
3
than his own team.
That
2.
is wild.
So let me ask you then. So could you seem like you still believe in this guy?
Adrian, I mean, bro, what choice do we have? You're like fucking Drew Lock or Tommy Cutlets.
Can it be worse? Can it be any worse than 18.4 quarterback rating?
It could. I think it could, man. Look at the kid from the Jets. What was his name?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
it could turn possibly into a Zach Wilson fucking issue. You know, like just be a horrible year.
I fucking cut him. See ya. Pay
So
him.
here's a question for you. Do you risk the chance of not filling seats and losing money at the turnstiles, or do you risk losing money by not playing your $40 million quarterback?
I honestly, I mean, I would
Good
think,
question.
I would think people, I don't think it's Daniel Jones that's putting people in the seats right now. I'll put it that way.
Good point.
And
But with him
Giants-
playing-
Giants have a huge fan base. They have a waiting list for for seats. Even and we haven't had winning times. You know what I mean?
Are you going to pay all that money for a ticket for just to see your team lose? A lot of these people are going to be traveling to the stadium from 50 plus miles away.
The real, yeah, true. The real acid on the wound is fucking Saquon. The day he had, and the fact that we chose to sign Daniel Jones over Saquon is basically how it shook down,
Right.
and it just stings.
I
Well, that
see
was a
why
bad
you would,
move.
why you would think that, but I don't look at it that way, because just because of the positions, you know what I mean? At the time, we're coming off a playoff win. We made it, what I'm saying, we made it to the second round of the playoffs that year. What else was out there? You didn't really have a decent draft pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's
But-
why they made the decision to sign him. So I don't see it that way.
Let's talk about that.
That
Let's
way.
say you did sign Saquon, right?
Mhm.
And then you have no quarterback because Daniel's going to walk, right? And so you go to the draft, right? Last year's first round draft pick, who was at Carolina? Bryce Young. Am I right by saying that?
Yes.
How's Bryce Young doing?
Terrible.
Yeah, okay. This year, the first round draft pick, Caleb Williams. If it wasn't for his defense, he had a horrible day. So we right now, my point is right now, if we took Malik Neighbors this year, but we were at a position where we could have had JJ McCarthy. Everybody's like, JJ McCarthy. Look, JJ's not even fucking playing ball this year.
No,
So my point is, had we signed Saquon and relied on the draft, we'd be having huge quarterback problems right now. You know what I mean?
could be.
It's not an easy fix. There's no easy fix.
There
was
was
thinking
chances for them.
Cousins
There was chances
maybe in
for them to
Atlanta.
trade.
Yeah, like Kirk Cousins sitting there fucking, he lost his first game. They actually drafted a fucking quarterback while they signed him.
I've always been an advocate of signing a free agent, then depending on the draft.
Right. They had their
I
chance to
agree.
trade for a free agent quarterback that it was still better than Jones, better than Minshew. They could have even gotten Minshew. But
Yeah.
there was still that chance, and they didn't take it. They said they're gonna
No, but
let
I don't want
Saquon
to
walk.
insult you, but Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew, like, what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Malik Neighbors.
I'll tell you
will be
the
stud.
difference. Here's the difference. 186 yards, I think, was the difference, actually. No,
That one
100.
game, but Daniel won an actual playoff game for us. You know
He
what I
did.
mean? He does have a little history. He has shown moments where he can deliver, but
You know when this
it
all went
wasn't
downhill?
this Sunday. It
This-
wasn't this year.
This all went downhill when Daniel Jones broke out of the backfield. He was running for about 50 yards towards the end zone, and he fucking tripped.
And that Philadelphia
That
game?
was it, bro. That
he was running like a
we
fucking
should have
deer
fucking
ahead
knew
of everybody.
right there. We're
Yeah.
not paying this motherfucker.
Tripped on his own.
Oh man, yeah, we'll see what happens this week.
Gotta have faith, bro.
Yeah,
But Malik Neighbors, I'm not mad at that. He's going to be good, man.
yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, he was definitely
So
a
they have
bright side.
like two big plays for both over 20 yards, I think.
Yeah.
And that's with Daniel Jones.
He dropped one. He dropped his first one, I think.
Yeah,
And,
but,
and that's another thing. Some of the wide receivers didn't help.
That's true.
no, but there was some of these. They were bad passes.
And I got to be honest, man. The offensive line didn't stand out to me that much.
No.
I didn't think they played that bad. No. I mean,
No, he had time.
he had some time.
He was going through 1, 2.
I think it
3.
was better
But
than it was
Then
last
when
year.
when he threw to the running back, he threw it at his fucking feet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, bro, that's an 8-yard fucking pass. That's a 6-yard pass.
Yeah.
Get it up to the guy in stride
This
so
is-
he can fucking run. You know? I don't know.
Here's a video that one of my buddies who works for the Giants sent me, and I sent to Gabe.
What do you-
That's a true story, guys.
Wait, one of your buddies works for the Giants?
No, you're fucking right.
I was gonna say.
That's from Rudy.
Oh.
You know he has no friends.
Anyway. Hey, before we move on, though, I just want to say, sports aside, politics aside, God bless anyone who's lost anybody 9/11.
Yes.
You know,
Amen.
salute to all the what's it?
Everybody we lost.
They showed me here.
The-
Oh,
Be awesome. Be awesome it'd be awesome if you just got on board. You know,
hey, listen, but that
Just
that came from the
one-
heart.
Just one time.
That came from the heart.
Just one time.
It was weighing on his mind, and he wanted to reach out to everybody that was affected by 9/11.
Yes.
God bless anybody affected.
Yes, absolutely.
America was,
Absolutely.
affected that day.
It was on the show sheet and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was real organic shit right there, bro.
Yeah, that's good. So is this. when I wrote it out and
So, Adrian,
when I printed it.
where were you on 9/11 when the towers came down?
All right, yeah, all right, cool. We're skipping things over. All right, let's skip. So 9/11, yes.
Bro, the show writes itself. You can't go against it.
Apparently, I don't know how this gets here. Yes. So 9/11, obviously, very significant day in history for us. You know what I mean? Where was I?
We'll get to Tyreek Hill later.
Yeah, no problem. So glad I printed those out. Where was I? I was actually in a gas station, dude. I was working for this marketing company, and I was in a gas station in Nassau, somewhere. I want to say, Williston Park, right? And I'm in this gas station, and I'm getting getting a cup of coffee, and the guy's got like a TV, up high behind the counter, and I'm waiting to pay for my coffee, and I'm like looking at the TV, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, is this real? Like, what's going on? Stuff like that. And the guy just stops ringing people up, and everybody's just watching this TV right now, and we're seeing the footage and stuff. And I remember, just going back to the office, and then like everybody just went home that day. But I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the moment. I'll never forget where I was. It was a very, 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 very crazy time.
It was eerie. I
Yeah.
remember being.
No, we got attacked,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't felt anything like that since, I guess, Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
And so in our lifetime, we never expected it,
No.
We always feel safe and protected here and something like that.
Where were you?
I was actually home. I was home. I wasn't working at the time. And I remember my wife coming upstairs. I was watching something on TV, and she comes upstairs and she's like, you need to put the news on. There was an accident. So I put on, I think it was Fox or CNN. I think it was CNN, when the actual channel I put on. And it fucking, as the guy, they're talking about the first plane, as he's talking, you see the second plane coming in, and it was like, that shit is not no accident.
Yeah. I remember that moment too.
Yeah.
Of the second plane was more shocking than the first.
Yeah, right. The first one, you're like, oh my God, horrible tragedy accident. But the second one, you realize, this shit is real.
I think what shook me the most was watching the building collapse.
Oh.
That's what I was to watch that building. Iconic part of our New York skyline. And to watch that just go down the way it did, that I feel like it was had the most effect on me.
Yeah.
Well, number one, because it's filled with fucking people. So many lives. I think altogether it was almost 3,000 lives were lost that day.
497 of them were from Long Island.
Right.
Oh wow.
497 out of those 3,000 were from Long Island.
Fucking
Joey, where were you?
I was in Southampton working property management, power washing a deck, a fucking boardwalk to the ocean. I was power washing. Came in the house for a break, turned on the TV, and I kind of the first plane had just crashed into the trade center, and then everything just shut down. I sat there for hours watching that shit, and it was scary.
Yeah.
The person I was working for, his girlfriend was in the city. He was trying to get a hold of her, couldn't get a hold of her. So there was some panic going on around me. It was wild.
Our buddy Chris, who we're going to see this weekend, Chris Malia, he was working in the city. He was working down by
Wall Street.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And he said he was just running. He said he was just running down the street.
He was actually down by Battery Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like right across the street from that shit.
And he said it was just chaos, the dust and all that stuff, and it was just craziness. He said it was like, like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's aunt worked in the city too, and she had to. Everybody lost cell service, if you remember, right?
Yeah.
There's nobody could, call anybody, any family or anything. So you couldn't get in touch with anybody to find out how everybody was doing. And she actually walked. I'm trying to think where she worked. I want to say maybe she might have worked Midtown, possibly. I'm not sure, but she walked across the 59th Street Bridge to Queens. Like she just walked. She's like, I gotta get, and she was able to get on a train to get home. And then she finally, contacted my wife's mother, her sister. Gabe, where were you, buddy?
So I was living in Denver at the time. It was kind of crazy because this day I was late for work. And I never, ever, ever have watched TV while getting dressed for work. And because I was running late, I said, fuck it. I'm just going to take my time if I'm already late. So I'm going to just relax a little bit and just ease into it. And as I'm putting my legs through my pants to get dressed, the local news just cuts right into the New York feed and they're showing one of the towers hit. And I'm like, holy fuck. That's not right. That's not normal. And they're, like Mike said, they're calling it an accident. And then as I'm watching it live, the second plane hit and I was like, this is no accident. There's no way this is an accident. So I ran to wake up my brother. My brother had the day off that day. We were living together. And we were just sitting there just like dumbfounded, just like, this can't be fucking real. It just did not seem real that we would be under attack this sort of way. So funny, not a funny story, but kind of a sad story. About 6 years later, I had a different job, and day one, we were talking with this guy, and he was talking about him losing weight. This guy had moved from New York to Denver. He worked in World Trade Center too, and he was a big fat guy at the time. He said he was over 300 pounds. He walked down 20 flights of stairs and out of shape. And he said by the time he got down, he was just so out of breath. He was so tired. He just wanted to just lay down and like, get oxygen.
Give up.
And all of a sudden, people are like, you got to get out of here. You got to go. So he's walking down the street and one of the buildings starts to collapse. And he said that he starts running and he only made it maybe like 50 yards, he said. And he jumped into the back of a taxi that was just abandoned. And the debris just piled on top of the taxi and he was trapped for quite a while.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's gotta be horrifying. Another horrifying thing, to us, when New Yorkers, we always think the Twin Towers, but the people in Pennsylvania, that flight, I mean, they were really some brave motherfuckers, straight up, and you got to give it to them because you don't know what other damage that plane might have caused,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah, and they stepped up. We like to think that in that situation you might be that guy, but God, I never want to find out. I really don't.
That was the plane that was the plane that was going to be targeting the White House too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because the other one
went to the Pentagon.
Did go to the Pentagon, and it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy time, man. Crazy times. It was.
But
It's really hard to believe it was 23 years ago.
I know.
Well, one of my biggest accomplishments was working on those the memorial for them. If you know, it's Saul Stone.
Yeah.
That's what. So we did the 2 fountains and the whole park.
How many years were you there?
Oh man, I was there for probably like 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's we do work all around the city, but that's the one
That's a
I leave my
career
mark.
highlight.
I'm most proud of. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, you should be. You should be. My daughter, right? My daughter goes to school in South Carolina. She goes to school in Charleston, South Carolina. And communicating with her today, she said they didn't bring it up once.
really,
Yeah, they didn't bring it up once.
because it doesn't affect them.
No.
You know what I mean? They weren't affected.
But it's still such
we'll
a
never
significant
forget.
day.
You know.
You know what I mean? In
The
history.
reason why there's so many people in places trying to memory hold this is because, and I don't want to get political, but they would rather have a divided nation at this point than have a united nation. Things like that event brought this country together.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't know if it's true, but so I heard today that I think Biden and Trump and Kamala, they were all at 9/11 Memorial together today.
Oh, I didn't see
I didn't see it. I believe it.
And
Yeah.
someone told me that Joe Biden actually put on a
Trump
Magna hat.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
show unity. to show unity. That's what I heard.
No, there's
Well-
pictures of it.
Oh, really?
It's true.
Yeah.
See,
He might have been.
and listen,
I know
He might
Trump.
not know what he was doing.
and number one,
Probably thought it was a
when
Yankee
we're
hat.
in a situation like that, that's when we are the strongest and we're more
Absolutely,
united.
dude. After that, I mean, when
Yeah.
a situation like that, it doesn't matter where you like, what
Beliefs.
party you believe. You know, what I'm saying
No.
you vote and stuff like that.
You're
No,
American.
yeah.
We stick together, and that's
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah. I was going to say something about the debate last night, but I'm not.
The people that I feel bad
That's on the show
for,
shit too, Joe.
just
Did
out
you throw
of
that away?
No, it's over here.
the people that I felt bad for, just as by circumstance, were the Sikhs. They're not Afghans. They're not Pakistanis. They're their own thing. They're the most kind people that I've ever met in my life, and they were being targeted in Denver, and hated on, and spit on, and just hit and beaten because people were so fucking ignorant. They thought they were Pakistani or Afghanistan, and
No,
I felt bad for them.
that did happen, and you know,
Absolutely.
Yeah, all
I'm saying.
over the country.
I was just going to say. Unfortunately, that's like that's a terrible side effect of a tragedy. I mean, how many Asian people were being targeted after COVID?
Right.
After the pandemic, you know, at least here in New York City. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that people just automatically, you know, think that. You know.
Yeah.
But fuck the Venezuelans.
Yeah. So Joey, yeah, you know what?
my wife is,
Drink to them.
says fuck the Venezuelan gang members that took over the places in Colorado. That's what you're
Aurora?
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening in Chicago now,
She's
and I
all
heard
over it.
it's slowly happening in New York.
I don't think so. Not in New York.
Yeah. Shout out to all the first responders. You know what I mean? Those are the people that are, you know, as people are running away, they're running towards the danger. So shout out to all of them, firemen, police,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
God bless them.
and, nurses, EMS, all that stuff. Yeah. Crazy day. Do you want to circle back on the show sheet or
To
just keep
Tariq
moving?
Hill?
Yeah.
In the video? Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to, as we all know, Tyreek Hill, right? He got arrested on the way to,
Well, he
On
didn't
the way
get
to work.
arrested. He got he got handcuffed, right? Was he arrested?
He was detained.
yeah, I guess you're right. I guess maybe, I mean, he was
He
handcuffed.
He left the scene.
Yeah.
Left
but-
the state on his own.
Yeah.
But that might have counted as an arrest though. 'Cause I think he does have to report.
Oh, really?
He got a summons to report.
Yeah, I believe. On his way to work, which was game on Sunday in Miami. He was driving. That's a Lamborghini. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't know because the way the door opened.
Yeah, the way the door opens. That's what I'm
Okay,
thinking.
yeah.
I guess driving recklessly. You know, I think it might have been a construction zone. Who knows? You're on a Lamborghini. I'm guarantee you're
Right.
probably speeding. You know what I mean?
Well, it might sound like it's, you know what I mean? What if you just, you know,
No,
it's a high
they had him.
traffic area. It's
They
probably
had him
hard
over
to
100
speed.
They had him over 100 miles an hour in a construction zone.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, I heard that was estimated because there was actually no radar.
Yes, it was estimated.
You
So,
can
yeah.
you can estimate visually by the way the car goes past the dotted lines in the street. There is a way to measure the speed.
Yeah,
based on that.
if you count and shit, you think this fucking hillbilly cop really did that shit? You know, I don't think so. I think he's just sort of Lamborghini, you know, and fucking decided to pull.
All
him
right. So
over.
that's it. I wanted to get everybody's take on that. So
Yeah.
your take is you think the cop was in the wrong?
Well, no, I mean, if he was driving recklessly, you know, I think I think it didn't have to escalate like this. I think Tariq Hill should have rolled down the fucking window right there.
Yeah, I don't know why
You
he
know what I
didn't
mean?
roll down the window.
Roll down the window. The guy wants you to roll down the window. It's for the cop's safety, you know? He don't know who you are. You can have a fucking gun pointed at him. Roll down the fucking window, you know?
and
You
the
can't
cop
see
said
that.
he didn't know who he was.
You can't see in there.
No, that's what I'm saying. So for his safety, I kind of agree with the cop. Like, bro, roll down that fuck. What he should have did was bash the window and break it. You know, when he said, "Don't touch my fucking glass." But you know,
So
this is ridiculous.
so you don't think that would have been excessive?
You know,
No, I'm asking you.
This is excessive.
Yeah. So I'm saying, but you didn't think so. If he broke the window instead of knocking on the window,
once you wait after he asked him to roll it down and the guy refused to break it, I think that's legit.
Yeah, but we
that's-
didn't even hear audio. He might have said, "No, go fuck yourself." To
no,
him.
he
That's-
did. There's audio.
Oh, is
it?
He said he's
Yeah.
like don't knock on my window.
He's like,
bro.
"Don't touch my
Don't
window.
knock on
Don't
my
knock on
window."
the window."
Oh,
He
I
goes,
didn't hear
just
that.
do what you gotta do. Give me your ticket. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, he was
I'm
not
just curious,
complaining at all.
why do you You called him a hillbilly cop. That's why I thought you were against the cop.
Because he's down in fucking Miami, Florida. You know what I mean? Riding a
They're-
motorcycle. Like,
I think they were Cubans.
Yeah.
I know they were Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but it could be Spanish hillbillies, bro. I'm not. I don't want to point out races.
Okay.
I lumped them all together.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
There's no
so-
hills in Florida though,
Yeah.
especially Miami.
Listen.
No, so I think here's what happened. You get two people that are headstrong, and one escalates it. The other one says, "Okay, you want to play this game? Let's play this game."
The cop was definitely on a power trip. You hear the way what he said? He was like, "When I say something, you listen to me." Like okay.
He ain't fucking lying though. If he's telling you to put your fucking window down.
Yeah.
put
Right.
the
It could have
Well,
been that
however,
simple.
I will
Just
say
roll the
this.
fucking
Let's
window
let
down.
Gabe finish here.
I'll say this though: there is no law that says you have to roll your window down when they tell you to.
No.
As long as you comply and give them your license and registration, that's all you're obliged to do by the law, by the
Listen.
letter of the law.
Listen,
But if a cop tells me, roll down your fucking window, I'm complying.
All
I
four
have no
windows going
reason
down.
not to. Unless you're hiding something, I have no reason not to roll down my window and keep it down.
if you're getting pulled over for doing 100 through a fucking construction zone and he's asking you to put your window down, you better put your window down. The first time he asks you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm speeding.
Look,
That's
Today-
why you said just give me the ticket.
all of this can be avoided. If you don't like, okay, that people are in a position of authority, okay, like a police officer, all right, they're in a position of authority. If you don't like it, that's fine. But if you just listened, if you just stopped and listened, this officer never, I'm saying when he approached the vehicle, he didn't really curse at him. He didn't really yell at him. He didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Didn't escalate until he was being defined. Okay. And then I agree with Gabe. It became a power thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't like the way that goes, that's fine. If you just listen, you know what? You have the opportunity. This is America. You have the opportunity to air those grievances in court. You know what? I think I was wrongfully pulled over. I'm pleading not guilty to this ticket. So I'm going to go to court. Okay. And I'm going to let everybody know how I feel. That at the time right there, that's not the time to. Let me ask you something. We all have sons. Okay. How would you tell your son? What would you tell your son to do in a situation like that? Listen to what the cop says, right?
Absolutely.
Listen to the commands, right?
Listen,
I'm asking you. No, but I'm
we
asking
don't want
you.
no trouble.
No, but I'm asking you. What would you tell your sons?
No trouble. Of course.
You would tell your sons to listen to the
Bro,
police officer, right?
I've gotten pulled over before and literally never even said a word. Just I had the fucking registration and the insurance card and my license. I just handed it right to him. He grabbed it, walked back, came back, boom. I don't say a fucking word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you say power struggle. You use the word authority. This is to me, a police officer is there to issue summonses when he
No.
believes that
He's there to enforce the law.
enforce the law.
Yeah.
Right. Which is what? To issue summonses and tickets.
No, but to
right?
enforce the law. It's not just tickets and summonses. You know what I mean?
Most
It's
of
other
the,
things.
most of the time,
You know what I mean?
it's a cash grab.
But it's
It's a
to
shakedown.
enforce. So hold on. So was he? If he, I'm just saying. If
I
he did,
hate traffic cops, bro.
If
It's
he
just
did,
a shakedown
hold on.
for
But
cash.
if he did, if he was going 100 miles per hour, I don't know. There's no real. If he was going 100 miles per hour, was he breaking the law?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the issue?
But
That's his job.
Was he really doing 100
Your
miles an
job
hour?
is to.
He estimated
Lay-
by his eye that he was doing.
But
100
your job
miles.
is to lay stone, right?
Yeah, but bro, in this country we're innocent to proven guilty, right?
Hold on.
What do you mean? Hold on.
He
He
had
just write the fucking ticket.
Exactly. If he wrote the ticket, but he has his chance. You're right. You're innocent to proven guilty. He could go. Tyreek Hill can take that ticket and go to court.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he can go to court and plead his case. So you're right. You have the right to. But if you just comply and listen, if you have the problem with the authority, you take that up in
That's,
court.
that's the thing with the authority. Like we're in the street. If he feels he didn't do anything wrong,
Mike.
and he's being profiled.
So Mike, that's what you're telling your sons?
No.
What are you telling your sons?
I'm telling my sons to behave and fucking.
So then why not him?
My sons aren't black, and this is a different situation.
This was not a
See,
black
I was
issue.
waiting for that.
This
bro.
is not a
I
black
was waiting.
issue.
I was waiting for something. Brand has nothing to do with that.
No.
Has nothing to do with
about
race.
profiling.
No,
No.
bro.
They couldn't even
No.
see the driver.
Yeah, they couldn't. You see how dark those windows are? You know what I mean?
So here's another aspect of it.
In
No,
Did
Miami,
you see how
he's
fast?
driving a Lamborghini.
Wait, your kids aren't white.
Well, that's
Yeah.
another thing. They got to know that's got to be an NFL player on his way. to work.
Why? It's Miami. You ever go to Miami?
Yeah, but that's a quarter mile
Well,
from the
so this is
stadium.
what I'm
Why
saying.
though?
That-
Why do you have to? Why do you sit
No.
there that they have to assume it's a
No,
play?
I don't think that they said, "Oh, there's an NFL player. Let's pull him over." I'm saying they must know the traffic flow that time of the day
Bro,
on a Sunday.
have you been
But
to
he
Miami?
was late.
No.
He was
You've
late.
never been to Miami? There's cars like that all over the place. Ferraris, Lamborghini, they're all over the place at all times of the day.
Yeah.
Any day,
He was-
any time of the day during the week.
He was late to the game, which is why he was speeding. And there was a reason why those two other motorcycle cops showed up like that right afterwards, is because they were in pursuit. They radioed ahead to the other cops and said, "There's a car speeding. We can't catch him." That's how fast he was going. If you see the other footage of the cops on the bikes, they had to like really like drive through traffic to catch up to him. That's how fast he was going. At some point, that's called reckless endangerment,
Yeah.
which is in some places a felony.
Well,
On top
if
of that,
you-
he's not wearing his
in New York,
seatbelt.
if you do over 100, right, you go to jail.
I think they impound your car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
you're done.
Automatically they
If they
impound your
catch you
car.
doing over 100, that's what I'm saying. Like they had no radar. They're using like, oh, someone came down my block 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just throwing that out there.
But-
we don't really know who's doing
Look,
100.
I'm saying, like, back to the thing, right? Like, your kids aren't white,
Yeah, I know they pass for white.
but are they white?
Not technically.
No.
No, but-
So why, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why, like, people, like, it has nothing to do with race. This is my opinion. Do
But
I think it got a little excessive after he was handcuffed on the sidewalk? Yes,
That's
I
what
do.
this is what I'm talking
I do.
about. The way-
I think it got a little excessive. But my thing is, how did we get there?
right.
How did we get to that place?
By him not
If
rolling down the
He would have
window.
just listened and complied. He would have got a ticket and he would have had his day in court if he wanted to fight it. That is the issue. I've seen several black people on social media saying the same thing. If he just would have listened, almost siding with the police.
No
if
doubt.
he just would have listened, he wouldn't be in
No
this
doubt.
situation.
But he didn't listen. Did he?
Exactly.
But not listening, did they warrant him to get fucking handcuffed and thrown face first on the pavement?
No.
Bro, by him not fucking opening the window?
The cop.
Are you kidding me? That's
Dude,
bullshit.
when you roll up a window,
That's bullshit.
you have no idea, dude. You have no idea what a cop has.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Pulling up to
if
a
the guy
full
has
vehicle,
a gun,
you
he
have
can't
no
see,
idea.
It's got to be frightening.
dark as hell. The windows are up.
But it didn't warrant him to fucking. And then knowing that he didn't have a gun and shit, they still manhandle him. He's standing on the sidewalk. They rip him down and push.
I agree with you.
What do you mean?
That's why I said I agree.
Right.
When he was on the
So-
sidewalk,
so
that got excessive.
For what reason?
Yeah.
Because it became a power thing
Well,
at that point.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
But it should never have gotten that.
Right, he
point.
should have
If he
complied.
just would have rolled down the
100%.
window and that's it.
That turned
100%.
into motherfucker. I told you to put your window down.
Yeah.
Now this.
And no, he said, "You do what the fuck I tell you." You know, the cop. That's what he said. But all of a sudden, like, you're my father. I gotta fucking put the window down because you told me to. Put the
I don't know
window down.
why you would. So that's what I'm trying to say. What do you tell your kids, dude?
You would've
what do
got-
you
I
tell
think-
your sons?
Listen,
Yeah,
that's
you
my
would've got-
attitude. I don't tell my kids to do that. Of course not.
Why not though?
Because I
But
want to
then why do you think he shouldn't?
Because I don't want my kids to be ever face down, handcuffed on the fucking pavement.
Exactly. You just summed it up. I can't so you can't sit there and say he should have acted
But
one
it's
way,
bullshit.
but I won't tell my own children
But
to
it's
act another
bullshit.
way.
You know, but it's bullshit. You know, it's
But
bullshit.
guess what, Mike? Guess what? I agree. For this person, you know what I'm saying? You got caught.
I mean,
Listen, I've been in a situation. Hold on one
even
second.
Gabe said it's
I
not
wore a
against the
fucking
law.
badge. You know that. I've wore a badge. I understand. I've been in situations, bad situations, okay, where these other officers have gotten me into. Okay, I agree. It's wrong. You know what I mean? The position of the authority that
yeah.
these guys have. That do some people abuse it? No doubt, 100% they do. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have your day in court, if you don't like it, you have your day in court to fight it.
But maybe he knows the law, and maybe he knows that he doesn't have to put the window down. Gabe said it's not mandatory for them to fucking put the window down, right? So if he's knowledgeable, which he is, he's a college graduate, he knows the fuck. Maybe he knows Florida law, and like, no, bro, I don't have to do that shit. But you
The only
ever see,
caveat to that is if the cop is not done investigating the situation and still has more questions, then he does have to respond to him, and he couldn't because the window was up. That's the
Are you
only caveat.
Are you guys familiar with the Long Island audit guy?
Yes.
No.
On TikTok.
Yes.
Love this guy.
I see him on my Instagram.
What is it? Long Island what?
Audit.
Audit.
What does he do?
But he goes around to public fucking things.
He tests the law. Basically.
He knows the law.
Yeah.
And so he'll start filming shit and stuff, and then people come out and like, oh, I'm cool. He's like, do what you got to do. But
It's amazing how many people with authority don't know the law.
well, and you see the power trips that these people have. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous, bro. It's your job. You know,
They're like, how did you get in
that-
here? It's private property. He's like, I walked through the front door. It was unlocked.
So let me give you a scenario because this is what happened to me in Colorado. I was speeding. I was going well over the speed limit. I get pulled over. I have my gun tucked between the seat and the console because that's just where I had it at the time. I get pulled over. I don't have to declare anything to this cop about where, if I have a gun, where the gun is at or anything. But out of respect,
Hold on, why? If a cop asks you if you have any weapons, why would you not? Especially if you have a permit, why would you not declare that? Yes, I have a weapon.
Well, he didn't ask at the time.
What I was going to say, I think Gabe means if he doesn't ask.
Right. He didn't ask. I just volunteered this information because I want to go home.
So does
You
he.
know? So does he. So instead of trying to escalate anything or make him alarmed, officer, just so you know, I have a firearm right here. My hands are right here. If you would like, I'll step out of the vehicle. You can secure the weapon until we've concluded our business here. He says, I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind, can you just step out, stand right there? I'll secure your weapon in my vehicle. I'll run your name and give you your ticket or whatever we have to do. When you're done, I'll put your weapon back on your seat and we can go about our way. I said, sounds good to me.
Yeah, look, I agree, man. I mean, I don't understand. To me, so much of this could be avoided if you just knock that chip off your shoulder.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Knock that chip off your shoulder.
100%.
Not everyone is against you.
Yeah, it's just that's all. Just listen. This guy came over. He knocked. Look, I'm telling you guys. I'm looking you guys both in the face. Yes, I agree. It escalated. It didn't have to go that way, especially when he was handcuffed sitting on the sidewalk. It didn't have to go that route. But they never should have been in this predicament if he just would have complied.
And I'm sure Tyreek Hill's got an ego bigger than fucking Texas.
Absolutely, dude.
So,
you heard what he was saying.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm rich. He's like, it doesn't matter.
But apparently, it wasn't the only NFL player that was in handcuffs.
No, because what happened, right?
All his boys,
one of his
right?
teammates
Yeah.
on the way to the stadium.
Sees what's happening.
Sees what's happening, gets out. But what happened? If you watch
Who
the
was
video, back up. Calais Campbell, I believe.
Oh.
Back up. I mean, this fucking guy's huge. I'm telling you now, that is a real thing. If you fear for your safety, okay, you have the right to act. Okay?
All right, but if I see you locked up in handcuffs and I'm
No doubt.
driving,
No doubt. And what am I
I'm
going
like, you think the cop's gonna tell
Absolutely,
me back up?
bro.
And I'm like,
I know
bro,
you would.
chill.
Yeah.
You're like, are you fucking kidding me? That's my fucking boy.
But
Like,
I'd be telling you, Mike, just fucking go. Just go. I'll call, you know what I'm saying? Or go to the precinct. Meet me at the precinct.
you
That's what I would say.
be like, kick this guy in the nuts.
See, here's the thing. Tyreek knew he fucked up, and I'll tell you why. He's on the phone with his agent to bail him out, to get him out of the situation. He's already on the phone to Drew Rosenhaus. Call Drew. Drew, I'm being arrested. Someone call Drew.
You could
He
hear
knew
all
he
that?
fucked
I didn't
up
hear
already.
any of this audio.
So I think it was on the phone. I think he might have been on the phone with Drew when he got pulled over. Is that what happened?
No,
I think
that's
what
why
he
he
did,
rolled
he
the window
called
back
him.
up.
He called.
Yeah. He called him.
Yeah.
Because
the other-
as he's getting yanked out of the car, he's like, "Yo, I'm getting arrested. You know,
Yeah.
and he's talking to him. Yeah.
So here's the other bullshit story going on here. When you see them putting him down on the curb, man, chill. I just got surgery. Motherfucker, you're about to play a football game and get tackled by 350-pound fucking linemen. Shut your fucking pie hole.
Yeah.
You are not crying. This
Look,
is bullshit.
I mean, I understand why he's doing that. You know, you don't want to get manhandled. You know what I'm saying? Get thrown down to the pavement. You know what you need. It's week 1. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, I can't play. You know, I got to miss 4 games because I just got to, slam to the pavement. You know, I get that. I'm not mad about that. To me, my thing was his attitude. His attitude, once the cop approached, and he's just like, yo, don't knock on my window, man. Don't knock on my window. No, just give my ticket, man. Just give my ticket and like, go. It's like, look, whether you like it or not, that's his job. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not,
Just give it a ticket.
to enforce the law.
To write the ticket.
To enforce the law.
Write the fucking ticket.
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's his job. All right. That's Tyreek Hill.
Glad I got the 9/11 shit out of the way first.
Yeah. So that All right. So yeah, that's NFL 9/11. Guys, we had a presidential debate last night.
Woo.
Anybody watch?
Oh yeah.
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 What's your hot take?
I still just can't believe these are the two people that we got.
I
mean,
know.
It was
I'm
3
saying?
versus
What we
1.
got. I agree with that. There's been a lot of what do we call them? Am I going to call them commentators?
Moderators?
Moderators. There you go. Moderators.
Were they CNN moderators?
ABC. ABC moderators. They were fact checking. It looked like only in one direction.
Yes.
I mean, it was only one
Yeah.
direction.
So it definitely seemed like it was 3 against 1, but
Trump knew this was going to happen. Everyone knew this was going to happen because he's got a lawsuit against ABC. He didn't want to take this debate on ABC because of that. There's a conflict of interest there. The woman that was woman moderator is Kamala Harris's sorority sister.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
And Kamala Harris was wearing earbuds, and Kamala Harris
Was
did,
she?
I don't know. People, so much shit. But the fact remains is the woman didn't sound as stupid as you're portraying
No.
her.
I think
She had her shit together.
I thought she came off
Because she got all the questions early.
she came off in a good light.
Yeah, but Donald didn't. He gave us no plan on how. Like they asked him, how are you going to do mass deportation on day 1 and stuff. He averted from every question they asked him. You say 3 verse 1, answer the fucking question, bro. Just answer the fucking
She
question.
did her share of that too, though.
Yeah, they always do.
When it came to
there-
abortion,
there's
like,
a lot of things she didn't answer. Mike.
Yeah.
well, when it came to
Right.
abortion,
She didn't
I
answer very
noticed that
many.
she avoided answering
Pulling out
whether,
of-
like,
pulling out of
late term and shit like
Afghanistan.
that.
Yeah. With that being said,
No, she said she was proud of pulling out of Afghanistan.
I don't think he had a good night.
No,
Willie Brown pulled out of her.
no.
That's for damn
Listen.
sure.
I thought the momentum changed 3 weeks ago. I think last night, if there was a winner and a loser, I think she won that debate. But I don't know if it was enough to change people's votes.
I think his closing statement won that debate for him.
Well, no, his closing statement was strong and
Yeah.
it was good, but I don't think it won it because seriously, like if you play the middle of this and you just want the facts and you want to know policies and stuff, he gave you nothing, absolutely nothing, bro. If we took a shot every time he said they are destroying the country, we'd be drunk as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, like he's been out there, man, like between rallies and interviews and stuff, like, discussing what he wants to do.
My rallies are the best rallies.
You never seen him like this,
my
never in the entire world.
Where's Josh Rosen, right?
Bro,
People
Josh Rosen,
don't
right?
even go to
doing
her.
good. Have you
Really?
been following him?
Love that.
Oh, he's doing good.
I mean, look, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't think we're in a great place right now as far as the country goes.
No.
So
No, and it can't be the same economic or immigration policies that we've been dealing with. So even if it's her, she's got to change her tune and do something for the country. If she talks about being everybody's president, you're gonna have to fucking fix these major problems that we have.
I'm telling you, we're in trouble. She's a Marxist. She's a Marxist.
He sounds
We're in
just like
big trouble.
Donald.
She gets.
Her dad
No,
was a
no, he's
Marxist
not.
professor, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I
nothing
watched the
that.
debate
There's
too.
nothing about Donald Trump that says he's a Marxist. That's
No.
a fact.
He claimed she was her father was a Marxist last night.
A
He
Marxist
was. He
professor.
wrote a book.
Yeah,
He wrote a book on being a Marxist. With the Marxist economy.
He said Marxist economy. So maybe she knows about the economy and how to fix it.
Look, I
Do
mean,
you know
at
what?
the same
Do you know what happens to the economy under Marxism? Though
What?
it goes to shit. Tell me what country under Marxism has thrived. I'll wait.
I got to do a little research to answer that. I don't know.
Tell me one country that has
Is it
thrived
Russia?
under communism.
Is Russia thriving? Or do you consider them
No.
successful?
I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't-
they're communists. They're communists.
They're not
Yeah,
Marxist.
but, I mean, I mean, China seems to be doing pretty well, right?
That's another communist country.
I understand, but you're saying like what country does well in the communism?
It seems like
Okay, you want to think they do well, but how many times do the Chinese people get their doors kicked in because they've said something on social media?
Look, I
how
don't.
many times? How many?
I don't agree with communism. I'm just saying. You asked
How many companies are owned by the government because you can't individually own a company in China?
Yeah.
You think that's
Listen,
really good?
My family. Okay, this is the reason why I'm a first generation born American. Okay, my family was ran out by communism. Okay, my family was both my parents were born in Cuba, and they were ran out. My parents, my grandparents. Okay, uncles, aunts, I mean, ran out of the country by communism. So I'm no fan of communism. I'm just saying, China seems to be doing pretty well.
They're not doing as well as you think.
Okay, I don't believe in it. I mean, I'm just saying. You asked a question.
It's going to be an interesting. What is it now? 54 days,
Something
55
like that.
days.
Yeah.
To the actual.
Don't be rude.
Election.
I
Don't
heard
be
that
rude.
they might do a second debate. Is that right?
I think she wants one. I think, I mean, she's right. Look, in my opinion, I think he lost last night. I think he lost the debate. Did he have a strong closing argument? Absolutely. The whole thing came down to is when he said, why, like all these changes you want to make, all these things, why haven't you done it? You're in the White House for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
But the truth is, right? Vice presidents don't do shit. What did Mike Pence do? What was the one thing Mike Pence did? What
This isn't about Mike Pence right now. This is about her.
I'm asking because he's a recent vice president. Like, do we remember one bill that he pushed ahead or anything? Did he make marijuana legal federally or something?
Before Biden dropped out, she was all about his agenda and all these policies.
Before he was pushed out.
Well, okay, you're right. Before he was pushed out.
And this is what I was telling
now
people.
that he's pushed out and she's in, she wants to change it all up. Well, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, listen, you can't hold it against somebody if they change their mind for the better, right?
No, you can though if they're pandering.
No, I mean, they say Trump was a Democrat back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he changed his mind, right? It's okay. It's okay to change your mind in politics.
So there's a
still
thing
waiting-
going
I'm
on right
still
now.
waiting
There
for
were
you to change
every
your mind.
Listen,
the line
I want
has
a
crossed
prosperous
parties.
country. I want a safe country. I want every child to be safe. I want us not to ever have to worry about like another 9/11. You know what I mean? And I want everybody to be happy and prosperous. I don't care what.
There's something you don't understand
center,
though.
Just get
The
it
line
done.
has crossed the parties. I used to be Democrat also, but because the left has gone so fucking extreme, the line has moved to the right. Elon Musk was a Democrat.
A lot
Elon
of
Musk
people
was a Democrat.
Have a problem with
Bobby Kennedy was a Democrat, and he just switched over to libertarian. And guess what? He's endorsing Trump. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. Guess what? She's endorsing Trump. She's a libertarian now.
But first of all,
The line has moved.
Kennedy got ran out of but the Democratic Party. He got pushed to the side, and now
It's because
he's
the
riding
left
Trump's
has
coattail.
gone.
Let's be
The
honest.
left has gone extreme.
He was trying to run
They're
against Trump
extremists.
himself up until 2 weeks ago, and then now he's up Trump's butthole.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe, I hear what you're saying, and I hear it, but at the same time, for every Democrat you just listed, I'm sure you could find Republicans did the same thing. I mean, you got Dick Cheney just endorsed Kamala.
202
Dick Cheney has been a rhino for the
202
longest
I mean,
time.
I'm just saying, but his daughter,
Politicians
who is
endorsed her.
a congresswoman, just endorsed Kamala. You know what I mean?
Dick Cheney's a former
that whole
vice president of the United States.
That whole family are rhinos, Republican in name only.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying though, but for everyone you find there's another one on the other. You know what I mean? I don't go.
I never heard that term.
That's what rhino means.
Rhino?
Yeah.
Republican in name only.
I think Kamala's going to win the election.
Oh boy. No, I mean,
How can you not at this point? I mean, it doesn't feel any other way.
He has so many legal battles. Everything's just against him. You know what I mean?
Dude, I
Well,
agree.
if the DOJ wasn't so fucking have such a big hard on for him.
Listen, I can understand if it was one time, right? But there's so many different things. You know what I mean? Like, it's a basic concept. If there's smoke, there's fire.
No,
You know?
that's not untrue. That's untrue. The DOJ, the chief of the Department of Justice, just came out and said, yes, we have politicized, weaponized.
Yeah, I know. They admitted that. That's what they said. Yeah.
Yes.
We
So
totally
do you
corrupted the
still
whole
want to say there's
system
smoke,
and
there's
we
fire?
totally
That's
said
not
it.
true.
What website did you see
They're
hear
persecuting
that
him on purpose.
from? Not legit. That's not a legit news site that you heard that.
I mean, once again, I just still can't believe these are the two people that we have. Me personally, I'm not saying he's the answer. I just don't like the way things are going right now in the country. That's just my opinion.
No, it's definitely. Listen, the economy is for shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, the thing with conservatives, there's inappropriate things that children are subjected to, and they shouldn't be. And anybody with a right mind can see certain things shouldn't be fucking out there for little children to see and have to deal with. But besides that, I think everybody else, we can find a common ground. with these two candidates, it's hard as fuck. You know, it would have been nice if Robert Kennedy, you know, would have fucking stood alone and got some momentum, because you know it would break the pattern. But I don't know.
All right, we're not a political show, but I just wanted to bring up the debate. And it's gonna, like Joey said, what do you say, 50 something days? It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
And
6 weeks. or
If
so.
you think she's gonna win, she's gonna be like first woman president. I mean,
Yeah.
it's deep.
I don't think that's happening.
It's deep.
I just don't see it.
I hope you're right.
It's all propaganda that you're seeing on the news, because the media is so left.
I listen.
why.
We watched
Gabe,
the
you
debate
can't
last night.
say-
She handled him. Man.
You can't say it doesn't feel like the momentum switched.
When
gotta
and
be
where?
honest, Gabe. Gotta be honest.
I mean, the day
Look at the
Donald Trump
rallies.
yeah, but
And I was looking at his ear. I don't see a
I
fucking
don't see.
mark.
I mean,
no,
I
you didn't see a mark on
I
that
can't.
thing.
I can't help myself from staring at
Yes,
it here
me
whenever
too.
I see.
I'm looking for something, and my wife was like, "Stop, stop." What do you mean stop? I want to see something.
I mean, listen, the guy got shot. He got grazed in the ear. That's not bullshit. But
I just
you
had
know-
surgery. You could barely see my stitches.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on.
Is your shirt ripped?
No. So I'm wearing a cutoff shirt, and then I'm wearing an ice.
Oh, I got
Like a
you.
sleeve?
A nice sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
still
still
got-
wearing that?
Yeah, you still
Yeah.
got that going on, huh?
Yeah. It helps a lot. Helps
Start
recovery.
jerking off. Oh, start jerking off with that fucking that head. Loosen things up a little.
All right, guys, I want to ask you guys something. I'm sure this has happened to everybody here at this table, Gabe, including you, and anybody who's listening. Okay. I've been extremely guilty of this lately. Okay. Running into people and seeing them and forgetting people's names.
Oh fuck.
What do you guys do in a situation like that? How do you handle a situation
All
like
right.
that?
The best thing to do, honestly, is you just got to say, "Listen, man, I'm terrible with names. What's your name again?" You just got to fucking knock it out of the box.
So you just want to own it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because otherwise it's awkward. I think it's more awkward dodging it than just fucking being out forward. with it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So okay.
That takes
Owning
balls.
Yeah, that I agree. That does take ball. Owning it, that's not awkward.
No, if I'm terrible with names. What's your name again? Like,
All right.
that to me is less awkward than like, having a fucking 10-minute conversation and dancing around it. You know what I mean?
In my case, it's been people that I used to work with. Okay, so I haven't seen them, a little bit. Whatever. I mean, there was over 900 of us. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen them. You got guys that you see here and there, and I just look. My name is Adrian. It's not a
Unique, yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? It's not. No offense. I'm
Right.
saying it's not Mike. It's not Chris. You know what I mean? It's
Joe.
yeah. It's kind of hard to forget. You know what I mean? I've been called Andre several times.
I was just gonna fucking say that. dude.
I've been called Andre several times. You know what I mean? But whatever.
Hey, Antoine, how you doing?
But I'm saying, so like they'll remember my name. I'll see them like, hey, what's up, Adrian? I'm like, hey, oh my God. I'll see them from a distance and I'm like, fuck. I sit there and I try to rack my brain. I'm like, what is the name? What is the name? How do I know them? Like, what is it? And I play that game. I've never done that, Joe. I gotta be honest with you. I've never been like, dude, I forgot your name.
Dude, don't laugh. I'm terrible with names. What's your name again? Boom. It's over. It's out of the way. The rest of the conversation is stress free.
So what I have done, right? I don't know. It may take several minutes, but like I'll have an epiphany and I remember their name. And I'm like, so what I do is I'm like,
Then
Joe.
then you say it like
how about,
6
yeah,
times.
How about, yo, Joe?
Joe Eric Schmidt.
Joe. It was good seeing you, buddy. You know what I mean? I'll do that to let them know. Like,
Yeah.
I know your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was good seeing you, Joe. What about you?
Me? I just like come up with shit like, DJ Gibraltar. Yeah. I'm like, hey, Sammy, hey, like, what's going on, Chubby Love? Just fucking throw a name out there and
Oh, my God.
hopefully the person will correct me eventually.
Gibraltar.
What about you, Gabe?
So I'm horrible at this because I know Joe is not in the circle that I am in off road, but in the extreme rock crawling world that I'm in, I'm pretty well known, very well known, I'll say. And I don't mean that as to come off as, pat myself on the back like Tyreek Hill or some shit.
You kind of are, but so
But when I'm out doing my thing or I'm out at a vendor show or something like that, people will come up to me like, hey man, how's it going? Nice to see you again. And I'm like, fuck, I've met you before? I don't. And in my head, I'm like, where have I seen this guy before? Where do I know him from? And the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, good to see you again. How's it going? And I'll call them by not by their name, but I'll say bud, dude, bro, anything to avoid calling them by their actual name until someone will come along and recognize me and then recognize them and they'll say their name. And then as I'm departing the conversation, I'm like, all right, Alex, good to see you again. See ya.
That's funny.
Yeah, you definitely got to get the name. And once the light bulb goes off and you remember it, like you
Gotta
said,
say it.
you got to say it at
Yeah.
least 3 times.
Joe, great seeing you, man. Great seeing you. Say hi to the family. Yeah. To me, I don't know. I'm like, these guys smell the bullshit, from a mile away. Speaking of smells, I want to ask you guys something. Okay. I had a little situation over the weekend. All right. And I know we touched on cologne a while back, early on, right? I mean, this is episode 39, guys. Like, this talking about like episode maybe 5 or so. We might, talked about cologne and stuff.
I'll take your word for it.
Joey never listens. I want to ask you guys, when and where, okay, should you not wear cologne? Because in my situation, all right, I was at Costco, all right, and I'm on the self-checkout line, and this guy's behind me, and like as soon as he came up behind me,
Sam's Club.
as soon as he
Sam's
came up
Club.
behind me, I was like, Jesus Christ. And then he gets next to me on the self-checkout. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't check out fast enough.
Yeah.
This cologne was so much. It's so potent. And I'm like, dude, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, he wasn't going to the club. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where he was going. I don't know what that was about. But this guy was just, he fucking dosed himself.
Was he Latin?
I'm not going to say. If he was.
They tend to go a little heavy with the cologne. But I'm a proponent for
They do,
cologne.
though.
Yeah,
Every
I know.
situation.
But
Yeah.
so you going food shopping?
But I came here. I put cologne on.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Going food shopping. Yeah.
You see, I didn't
After-
smell it though. I
Hold
didn't
on.
smell it.
After,
It's part of your like
yes. After
deodorant, brush teeth.
No, deodorant, cologne.
But see, I didn't smell it. I don't smell it. You know what I mean? So you're not doing it. Why is the fan? I don't get the fan.
Because he
Why not?
stinks.
Huh?
Because he
'Cause it
stinks.
stinks?
Yeah.
So to me, that's not strong. So I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking,
Right.
I'm like,
No, some people overdo it.
what is like, all right, right? So like, I think I know the answer to it. Like, do you wear cologne to the movies?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, you should smell good everywhere you go.
Okay.
Period. I
That's
try.
what-
That how you told me like.
I'm really counting on my fabric softener.
What do you tell your kids about the police? This is what I tell them about hygiene. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go.
Hold on. There's hygiene, and then it's excessive.
Right. But I'm like, sprit yourself up and smell good.
Yeah. To me, I don't think putting cologne on is part of hygiene though.
I think it is.
No, it's not.
No.
What do you mean no?
The only time I honestly wear cologne.
Is smelling bad part of hygiene?
Absolutely. But,
So smelling
but
good
if you
then is part of it.
shower, if you
Then
bathe,
the opposite is
yeah, but
is
it's
part
not
of that.
soap.
yeah, exactly. If you bathe and stuff and you put on deodorant, that's part of hygiene.
Okay, but hold on.
Cologne is a little bit.
If you didn't bathe and you put on cologne, would you smell good?
No, that's cheating.
But would you smell good?
That's cheating.
But would you smell good?
Possibly, I don't know.
It's
I
cologne.
mean, that's a
I
combination.
honestly, the only time I put cologne on, I think I've talked about this one time, is when I have a suit on.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really put cologne on. Even like if I'm going out on a Saturday night with my wife, I don't really put cologne on.
All right, so that's what I'm. All right, so the gym.
Does the gym smell like a fucking
No, I'm saying,
cologne
but are you putting cologne on if you go to the gym?
bar? No.
You? If you go to the gym, you gonna put in cologne?
I guess if I did,
You'd put cologne on.
after the shower, I put cologne on. Yeah.
But you shower before the gym?
I never go to the gym. I would imagine I probably would. I like to go
I
there.
would think you shower after the gym. No.
No, but I like to go places smelling good. That's the thing.
Okay.
It's about a first impression. You never
Do you
you
use,
never want to be that guy.
Do you use aftershave?
No.
Sometimes I used to, and I liked the smell of that.
It's cologne. Basically,
Yeah.
right? You're throwing it on.
And it lingers for
Yeah.
a little while in the day.
Gabe, what's your take?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw the show sheet and I saw the question, where don't you wear cologne?
What show?
Joey's still looking for his.
I thought you meant like, I'm not wearing it on my cock and balls.
Oh, you thought part of the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Hey, you know
Maybe
what?
you should.
If you want to clarify, listen, anytime you need clarifications, text me, Gabe.
So
Yeah.
wait, what do you just spritz yourself to go to
I
Wawa?
I don't wear
and get a
I don't
fucking-
wear cologne at all
Well, that's-
ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so like to the food store, you to the food store, you're wearing cologne.
Yeah,
All right. So it's safe to say you're wearing cologne everywhere,
all the time. Yeah.
all the time, everywhere.
on your way to work when you're getting ready.
So when I had a different position at work, I would use cologne. My day, no, I'm with construction workers. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking putting cologne on.
So you feel
But when I come home and take a shower, I put deodorant on. I put the cologne on.
All right. So let me ask you this: how much cologne do you think? How many? Do you use it? Is it a bottle or?
Yeah, I have a bottle of. I have two
Jacques
bottles.
So-
Noir.
Paco Rabanne?
Eternity, and the
Cool
other
water.
one is
Obsession?
Dolce and Gabbana.
How
Like,
many bottles do you go through a year?
Fahrenheit.
I probably go through like
Fahrenheit.
4 a year.
Tricard Noir.
Four a year, bro.
4 a year.
I don't think I've went through 4 since I got married 13 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So you feel the job is inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no need for it. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because there's guys that smell way worse than I could ever smell. you know.
Aqua by Calvin Klein.
Listen, being on the job is like being on the football team. Remember that smell? It's the same smell, you know?
Dude,
Can I just
so-
say something really quick? The
Yeah,
the
go
cologne commercials are so fucking ridiculous. There's one, I don't know the brand, but Adam Driver is running and racing a horse, and then he's swimming with horses.
They are
Why is he
bizarre.
racing horses?
No, because when you put that
Shirtless
cologne
with
on-
jeans. Shirtless with jeans, racing horses and swimming against horses. Why?
Sounds like a Putin.
You know what? That's not a question for Mike. Mike, you want to answer that?
Well, see, when you put that cologne on, you feel like you're part of the earth with the ocean and the horses running through. I have no idea.
Anyway,
That is a disgusting act.
I wanted to bring it up, dude. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. This guy was killing me.
So the cologne didn't smell good.
It just was too much. It's too hard to even gauge. It just was too much.
But to touch on Mike's point before, if the person was of Latin descent, they do tend to like
Go ahead.
a strong aroma. No doubt. I don't know what that means, but that is, I've noticed that in my
They go
work.
heavy with the
Yeah.
cologne. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a liquor store that I go to, and the liquor store owner swims in it. And my wife and I will no longer go to that store because I've walked out of there sneezing because it hits the nose so fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know, and on the job, because it was part of my routine, like I used to buy like dollar store cologne and use it for work, but now I've given that shit up, you know? This is no need for it. But
Dude, did somebody tell you to smell it?
no, but listen,
Um,
if you do smell another human being, isn't it offensive?
yeah, I know, but I mean, dollar
Isn't
store
it-
cologne?
Yeah, but
I didn't even know that's a fucking thing.
Oh yeah, check it
yeah,
out, man.
dollar store cologne.
Yeah,
Uh,
I actually like the signs.
so
Is it like on brand shit or is it like
It's like, you know, fake polo, fake
Like-
fucking obsession.
so
wrong spice instead of old spice?
Yeah.
It's fuck-
go around smelling like licorice.
all right, so then when did you decide to stop wearing it? At work. Yeah. When you ran out?
Nah, you know, I still, you know, I don't do it for work. This is just, I don't know.
So you wear it everywhere but work,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And I think most men should adopt that fucking thing.
Listen,
you know, listen,
I
realize you two aren't into it,
No,
but
I wear cologne. I spray cologne, but I don't wear cologne when I come to record. I don't wear cologne when I go food shopping. I don't wear cologne to the gym. I don't wear cologne to the movies.
when do you wear it?
I wear cologne if I'm going out, like if I'm going out to dinner, okay, a wedding, like you know what I'm saying,
All right.
when I'm going out.
So but what's the basic principle? You want to smell good,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Right. So why wouldn't you want to smell good in the grocery store or the gym?
No, because I don't think I smell bad. Do you know what I'm saying?
So then why wear cologne when you're going out to dinner?
Because if I'm going out, because like I'm kind of like dressed up a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, but you know, do you understand what I'm saying?
College shirts equal cologne.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm saying, but like if I have like, you know what I'm saying, if I'm dressed, okay, where I'm not wearing a hat. Now if my hair is done, You know, I got a little,
You got a
product in the hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not
I'm
asking
spraying
you
on
to wear
cologne.
cologne when you're trimming the hedges and taping the Giant game. I'm
Yeah.
saying, but when you're out in public and with other people, you should smell good. That's all. You know what I
No,
mean? Like you would brush your teeth, right? If you go
Absolutely,
to
yeah,
right.
but that's part of
hygiene, though.
hygiene.
That-
That's part of hygiene.
To me, cologne and smelling good is part
That's-
of hygiene.
Yeah, to you.
This is what I'm telling you.
You're in the minority.
I think
I don't
cologne's
think
like
so.
cologne's like an elective thing.
Yeah.
The other stuff is necessary.
Yes.
Toothpaste, deodorant, soap.
So hold on. Let me ask you a question. Now let's go to the female version, right? So sometimes girls don't even have to wear perfume. They wear these lotions, right? And the lotions smell fucking
Delicious.
amazing, right? Cabernet Sauvignon. Why do you think they smell good? They want people,
Dude, it's different, bro. Don't. I'm not going to
It's
compare
about
myself to a
smelling
woman,
good.
bro. I'm a chubby, hairy.
This is why you
fucking,
need.
you know what I'm
you
saying?
need-
Like,
you
yeah,
need a
I'm not going to
bottle of
compare
cologne
myself
every
to a
day.
woman.
That's why.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
Dude,
you're a stinky
women,
guy, bro.
No, they're beautiful. They're soft. Their skin's soft. They smell good. Yeah, that's women. We're not. Come on.
But
Wait, you're saying I smell?
But if you're this big chubby
No,
thing,
but I smell?
You should be spritzing
But hold on.
yourself.
But do I smell?
I never got that
You're a
impression.
big
Never,
chubby
right? Never.
thing.
Yeah, we've been friends since 4 years old.
No, I never.
No, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So, because I have good hygiene.
You're not chubby.
I'm a little chubby. I'm saying, but like, I have good hygiene. I think Joey nailed it on the head right now when he said, like, as an elective.
Yeah.
You said elective? Is that what I said? Yeah. You know what I mean? I think, you're kind of the minority. Look, hey man, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I never like, I can't smell you coming down the block.
I am the minority right here, but you just proved that the guy goes to the supermarket and he smells like a half a bottle of cologne. It's out there. People
No,
do,
can I ask you
people do
something?
it all
No,
the
this
time.
doesn't
Can
happen
I
all
ask
the
you
time.
something? Do you tend to think you need cologne because you smoke a lot of pot?
No.
Dude, there's a story behind it. Something happened. He's traumatized. He's traumatized by
No.
something. All right.
It's just like doom. It's part of the routine. Just smell good. You know what I mean? You get out of the shower.
Do you have cologne in your car?
I used to, like the dollar store. I would keep the dollar store cologne in the car.
Dollar store shit stays in the car.
Yeah, that's the emergency cologne. Listen, like if I have like today, I have a doctor's appointment after work, and I use that fucking. It smell good.
Because you come from work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get it because there's a possibility you might not smell the best. You work outside.
Yeah, but no, even my sweat smells like roses.
Yeah?
So it doesn't matter.
Come on, man. Yeah, exactly. This fucking guy.
But-
All right. But you got more?
Yeah, no, it's $1 billion industry, right?
Okay.
Is it?
Thanks to you.
No, is it not?
I mean,
Thanks-
it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so you say I'm not part of the norm, but there is. It's
dude.
out there.
But
You can't.
hold on.
You know what's interesting? Oh, good.
I'm saying we all own cologne.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not doubting that.
We just choose to wear it at different times.
Yeah.
You know, you can't trademark a scent. So,
Really?
like the knockoff shit is the same shit, different name.
Really?
Yeah.
See, dollar
So?
store can't beat that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I've been in Dawson. I'm trying. Like, where is that?
By the toothpaste and shit. You gotta go over there.
All right, that was. I just wanted to bring that up.
It's under the personal hygiene aisle.
Okay.
They got your car.
You gotta give him that huck too and
Polo
spit on
sport.
that thing.
Cool water. That cool water cologne.
Cool
I got
water.
the Johnson's Baby Powder and Cool Water Cologne. What was the name of that song?
Lottie Dottie.
Lottie Dottie.
La-di-da-di.
All right.
La-di-da-di.
Let's start wrapping things up. Okay, we got a new segment going on. As you guys know, last week we all got together and we did the first Beers and BS Fantasy Football League. Okay, which Gabe is the commissioner of, and we have a new segment. And Gabe, take it away, buddy.
Beers BS Weekly.
Update.
Now, we play fantasy football, dude.
So it all comes down to this.
Fantasy football stats?
You ravaged my fantasy football team.
He came up 1 yard short.
He's a fantasy football genius, okay? You ruined my fantasy football team this week.
Let's recap.
Gabe,
All right,
Gabe,
guys.
By the way,
Yeah.
bravo.
Good job. I love the intro.
That is fucking dope.
To the audience,
Thank
Gabe
you.
put that together himself.
Still waiting
Thank
for
you,
our
thank
theme
you.
song, but that was dope.
Gabe, what do we call this segment?
This is our Beers and BS fantasy recap.
I have Brew Crew Fantasy Weekly Recap.
Yeah, that too. All right, so week one, we'll start off with a close matchup between Hip Hop Murray, and that is managed by Mike D, and Nice TDs managed by Joe.
Yep.
With Mike winning by 1/10 of a point, which
Oh,
is
man.
almost unheard of.
Nice job. Got
Both teams left some points on the bench, with some players outperforming the starters. The biggest difference maker here was Joe leaving Chris Godwin on the bench, racking up 22.3 points, while Malik Neighbors only netting 11.6.
I know.
Was this favoritism due
I had
to
high
being a
hopes
Giants
for
fan?
fucking the Giants, man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So this sort of favoritism might come out again this year. I think it might happen. What do you think?
I squeaked by. It might happen.
Yeah. I
This
think
week,
so
the
too.
favoritism?
Yeah.
No. So any time I've ever been in a fantasy league, and I think I've said this before, I don't ever draft a Giant ever. I had high hopes for fucking Malik Neighbors. I loved the moment they drafted him. I love him as a player, and I think he's going to be awesome. So I took him when he was there, and it was a fucking mistake.
It was.
Folks, I just want to say I beat Joe by 0.1. And
0.
That is exactly the same that Rocky beat Apollo. 0.1 of a second.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
I got knocked.
How'd
Moving
you
on.
do this week in fantasy?
Moving on.
Can you imagine that was a late season game though, and I needed a win? That would have hurt even more.
Yeah, can you lower that music just a tad?
I could.
Oh, you don't like the beat?
No, I do. I can't hear him though.
That's a DJ Gibraltar original.
I didn't say shut it off. I'm just like I couldn't hear.
That's fine. That's okay.
No, put it.
Adrian's mean, bro. Yeah, and he don't wear cologne.
No, I do. I do. Just
so-
not tonight.
He's like a
So moving
stinky
on.
mean.
Moving on. The pregame predictions favored Howard Metcalf, your mother, managed by Alex Gascon, Adrian's son, by a
Alex.
considerable margin. But an early exit from Puka Nakua at halftime possibly cost him the matchup. My team, AJ Hawk Tua, beat Alex 192.22 to 120.52. I nearly had a perfect lineup, only one bench player outscoring my starters, and that was by Zeke Elliott.
Dude, you put up 192
Yeah, you had
points?
192 points.
I did.
What the fuck? You had like
Wait.
Chicago defense or
How
something?
did you have 190?
Or Dallas defense?
No, dude, you had
I had
129.
I had 129.22.
Okay, but you said 192.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
I'm like, he beasted.
So Alex's team had 3 players entering the Monday night game, and he was down by 60 points. Almost a good comeback, come from behind victory. But now Alex has 2 deaths. So there we go.
He was pissed.
I bet. Speaking of Monday night, if it wasn't for a late McCaffrey scratch in the lineup, this really had to hurt our cousin Vinny here.
Yeah.
He might have had
the
it.
substitution.
Yeah, he might have had an easy victory, but without enough time to make the swap, Vinny left 22.2 points on the bench and lost 126.26 to 92.86
Dude.
with.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No.
To Pito's top team managed by Tom Sarlo.
And that,
Was getting the
Pito.
W there.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet. They're gonna get fined.
They are. They knew they scratched him inside.
He said it.
on
They
Friday. or
they
something.
interviewed the running back, and he's like, she's like, when did you know you're gonna start? He's like, I don't know, maybe Friday night.
Yeah.
And they didn't announce it until 45
But I
minutes
think
before the
that's
game.
gamesmanship. I don't think they have to.
No, yes, they do.
They
do?
have to
Cincinnati
declare.
got fined for Joe Burrow last year with his wrist.
What's the fine?
I don't know.
And it didn't matter. They ran right through the fucking Jets. With
Yeah, but
running,
dude, it was there's so much on the line. Well, here, there's a video right here.
with betting.
Listen to this real quick. Huge NFL fine coming. Huge fines coming for this interview right here.
How did the real thing compare to what you dreamed it would be like?
Honestly, just thinking about it, I told Christian, I said, I don't know how you do it, man. It's a long game, but, you know, this is just the beginning, and, you know, we're going to see where we go from here.
When did you find out that you were going to be starting?
His question right here.
Maybe Friday night, you know.
That's kind of
As
crazy.
soon as that was on, I was watching that with my son. I'm like, oh, they're gonna get in trouble for that.
Yep.
So the head coach, he said, well, maybe the running back coach told him to be ready Friday night.
Oh, they're full
You
of
know?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And you can't keep someone as questionable up until game time.
You could be questionable, but when this guy's saying, "Oh yeah, I knew I was starting the game Friday night,"
Yeah.
that's a different story.
True.
All right, moving on. The league's princess, Tamisha's team, managed by Tamisha Rodriguez, took top honors this week with a high score and beat A-Rod's 84, managed by Anthony Rodriguez, 132.68 to 115.06. I don't know if
They're
there's any
actually married to
relation.
each other.
I was about to ask if there's any relation to that team. I'd like to have a camera in the
and
house.
she's actually Pito's sister. Pito is A-Rod's brother-in-law. And she actually whooped my ass in fucking A-Rod's league. And that's the big league, $250 entry.
Nice.
And I was talking shit earlier because I had Lamar. And I got out to a big lead. And so I started, texting in the group chat and talking shit. And she put it on me. She scored like 170 points in the other league. Yeah, Tamisha. Yeah. I'll see you again.
So Tamisha nearly had a perfect lineup with only one bench player, Lad McConkey, outscoring the starter Chris Olave. So big ups to Tamisha, and I think I play her this week. So we'll see how that goes, the matchup of the 1 and 2s. Going on to the last matchup, which is Adrian, and never played fantasy football ever, and he gets his first victory ever. Foo Philly 21 outscored Aaron Out My Balls, managed by Joe Ferrigno, 112.26 to 107.2.
That's all about Saquon.
Aaron Out My Balls left a staggering 31 points on the bench, which proved to be his demise for this matchup.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, that's a big one. So at the end of the week, the top 5 standings in this order are Tamisha, myself, Tom, Mike, and Adrian. Week one fantasy scoring leaders are quarterback Josh Allen with 31.18 points, owned by Joe.
Nice
Saquon
TDs.
Barkley. Nice TDs, yes. Saquon Barkley, 33.2 points, owned by Adrian. Jaden Reed, 33.1 points, owned by my cousin Vinny. And Isaiah Likely at tight end, 26.1 points, who was undrafted. He was a free agent and picked up. He was just picked up on waivers by airing out my balls. The Bears defense were the top scoring defense at 26 points, owned by Mike. And the kicker high scoring points was Jake Moody at 26 points, owned by Alex, Adrian's son. So we'll see what happens in week 2, but a good start for week 1.
Nice TDs plays my cousin Vinny. I'm coming for you, my cousin Vinny. My son wants to set the lineup this week, so
I don't think McCaffrey's playing again this week, right? Didn't they say
It's his question.
He's out?
He's
out. Oh, he definitely is out.
I heard he was
Yeah,
out
he's
for the
out.
second week too. Yeah. So Vinny, he should pick up that backup if he's smart.
Aaron Out My Balls. He got. When did he put in for it? Because I put in for Likely as well.
Yeah, so there's a waiver order, and I think because you were behind in the waiver order, he had priority because he lost.
All right, good for him.
Yep.
That's right. Mark Andrews is going to take all the touches next week.
I hope so.
What about the first game of the season, that Thursday night game, how that ended?
Oh, my God.
With the toe on the line? Fucking
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, by Likely.
Yeah.
It course, I had Lamar as a quarterback against Tamisha.
I mean, that's an
And
exciting start.
I
to the
could have used
season,
those extra points, but it didn't work out for me.
Both games, though, even the Green Bay Philly game.
Yes.
That was going back and forth, So
Oh, yeah, at the end, that was tight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jordan Love had a chance to come back. He got hurt, right?
great start to the NFL season.
Yep.
All right, very cool.
Before we move on, rest in peace to James Earl Jones, who played
Amen.
one of my favorite characters, Terrence Mann in Field of Dreams.
Darth Vader in Star Wars.
Yeah, to me,
This guy was in so many movies.
To me, he'll always be.
His voice is iconic, and it'll live forever.
Absolutely.
He narrated a lot of shit too, I think.
Yeah.
Growing up, severe stuttering problem.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
God bless him.
Yeah.
93 years old.
Yeah.
Sign me up for 93 right
Yeah.
now.
Good for him.
That's a beautiful
King
life.
Joffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Hey.
right. Yeah. Mufasa. Yeah. All right. Very good. Gabe, thanks for the weekly recap. And guys, I mean, one more segment. You guys got anything else before we get into it?
Oh, let's hear what Bob.
Yeah. It's our Brooker email.
Bob.
Welcome.
Mike, what's our email?
You've got
Our
mail.
email is brewcrew@beersandbs.com.
Very nice. Joe, where can they find us?
Find us wherever you get your podcasts these days: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and more.
Very good. Very good. Guys, it's a long show, and we only have one email question, and that's from Barbara from Mastic. Barbara from Mastic. Real quick. Guys, what's the one thing you forget the most when leaving the house?
Great question, Barb.
Yes. I'll kick it off. The thing I forget the most is my wallet. I don't know why. I know. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I kind of do know why. Okay. When you walk in my house, right to the right, I have like this chest. Okay. And that's where I rest my keys and my wallet. That's where it is every single day. But sometimes my wife, my beautiful wife, which I love, she opens the drawer and she puts it in the drawer. Or she might only just put my wallet in the drawer, or maybe just my keys. So then I'll just go, when I'm walking out the door, I grab the keys in my wallet. But if my wallet's not there, I kind of keep going. And there's been several times. Thank goodness for Apple Pay, which I really only started doing for about, past year or so. Much, to the chagrin of Joey. I've been in situations where I'm like, okay, I can still, pay for something, but my wallet technology and I really don't get along. 100%. My wallet's the one thing I probably forget the most.
Like,
well, just referring to you. With that being said, I think, and I heard that it might be actually coming to fruition or whatever, but an app that has your New York State driver's license on it. So when you do forget your wallet, everything, your phone has everything.
Yeah.
Because
eventually that's coming to Allstate.
My phone has my car insurance card on it.
It's coming to the Apple Wallet.
It is coming, right?
There's already 12 states that have it.
And Google
Android,
Wallet, too.
I mean, so for people like you that forget your actual wallet, you have everything on your phone, and life would be good. It used to be my wallet for me. Lately, the thing I forget most
is your carton of cigarettes.
No, I always grab the cigarettes.
Carton.
Yeah. I have 2 packs to go. I don't know. I've been on point. You know what? I'm a bad guy. Like, if she makes me lunch, I leave that shit in the fridge. I'm fucked up like that, and it's a waste of,
Dude, if you don't like what she made.
No, I'm just like always headed to go out the door, and I don't go into the kitchen. So
that's annoying.
Yeah, I'll leave my lunch. Yeah, it's not appreciated by anybody.
Yeah, my bad. Joe, what about you?
Nothing physical like a wallet or keys or anything, because that's I'm like streamlined in that area. My wallet's usually attached to my phone. Keys are always in a pocket because I just carry one little fob. I always forget to take the garbage out, though. I don't know if this falls into that category, but I'll pull out of the driveway and head off to work and then loop around the block and come back and have to drag the garbage out.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So that more than anything, I feel like when I was younger, it was either my wallet or something like that. But nowadays, it's the garbage.
It's never the phone for everybody, right?
Never.
That's an extension of your brain.
Bro, I didn't have a phone for 2 days. It was torture.
I don't know how you operate it.
And I don't. I feel terrible that I'm so dependent on my phone, but I am dependent on my phone.
Dude, like yesterday, I was texting you all day yesterday. Like, you want to go out to dinner? I'll buy drinks on me. You never answered. I don't understand.
Yeah, so I'm back. And I didn't see those texts.
Yeah. Gabe, what about you, bud?
So I usually do a pat down when I'm heading out the door. Right pocket, phone, left pocket, wallet, hand, keys. And I'm like, all right, I'm set. I head out the door, start the truck. I'm like, shit, I forgot my gun.
It's the gun.
7 out of 10 times I will forget my gun.
Gabe, that's like one of your hands, bro. You can't be forgetting that.
Yeah, and it's usually only when I'm wearing like gym shorts, I'll forget my gun because it's not really
and you'll go back for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Such a different world up here.
You just never know when you might need it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it and not need it than not have it and need it.
That's fair.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right. Barbara from Messick. Great question. Thank you.
Good
job,
job,
Barb.
Thank you.
Guys, as always, please keep emailing your questions. It's this is one of my favorite segments. And you guys got anything else?
No, we're gonna travel and go see Gabe.
Yeah,
this
man.
weekend.
Have a
Yes.
good time this
Yes.
weekend, guys.
Mike D and I are going amongst several other guys. We're going down to Tennessee this week to watch Tennessee Titans take on the New York Jets.
Jets
And,
first victory.
yeah, we'll see.
Get to
Aaron
see
Rodgers.
first time seeing Aaron play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
first time.
So just remind me, if you guys want some guns, let me know, and we'll
I told
go.
you, I want a little Derringer, 2-shot.
We'll go to a range, or
No, I
you
want
know.
to take it home.
Oh, you want to take it home? No, seriously, we can arrange that.
All right, we'll talk.
in
and
2 days.
Yeah, it only takes it. Our background check here is like 5 minutes.
You can go to 7-Eleven and get a background check.
Dollar General.
Talk Tennessee, bro.
Yeah, so we'll be in Tennessee. There's a hurricane coming through as well. So hopefully everybody's okay and that it's not so bad.
Safe travels. Have a good time.
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, thank you. And that's it. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to our cousin Vinny. Our cousin Vinny's got a big, gigantic birthday coming up tomorrow.
Big 5-0.
Happy birthday, Vin.
Fitty.
Right? Yeah.
You're the best, bro. Wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
All right, have a good night.
Get home safe. 39.
Your ass is killing me.